Pathways to Wholeness podcast. I'm Michael Warmoth, and I thank you for joining us for this next episode of meditative teaching. Please note that these meditations were recorded in a tropical environment with the windows and doors open, so you will hear birds and other sounds in the background. Try not to let them distract you from the words. Okay, let's just settle in, relax, maybe take a few breaths and just listen to the music before the teaching starts. Cannot be told exactly how to find peace, connection with our true selves. And the state of true connection cannot be described exactly. The best we can hope for from any teacher or guide is for pointers in the direction we want to go, and for affirmation and confirmation of the truth, a reminding of the truth. Think of the construction of the word remind. It calls to mind the idea of putting something back into the mind, reminding. To be reminded of the truth is to bring the truth back into mind. In this case, the mind being conscious awareness. As we know, the problem is not that truth is missing, that it is not here, that it is not real. It is just that it is not in our conscious awareness, because we have dissociated from the truth. We have disconnected from it and filled our mind with our concepts and ideas and stories and imagination, creating the illusion the ego is truth, is reality. And so there is nothing that a teacher or a guide can do but remind you of the truth, help you bring back to mind truth. But it requires conscious choice on our parts to accept and acknowledge that truth. We have to be willing to allow that truth into our consciousness. We have to be willing to end the disconnection. And this is where it gets difficult. Because the choice to disconnect is not necessarily available to consciousness. It's most likely we don't remember ever choosing to disconnect. It is possible we do. For the most part, choice to disconnect was made unconsciously, often before there were even words. And so our challenge is to reverse that decision. And this is where a guide and a teacher and our learning and our work all come into play. We become conscious of the ways in which we choose not to remain in connection with our true selves. We get to know ourselves, we become conscious, we gain insight. Once we acknowledge that the source of our suffering and struggle and lack of peace is our own decision to disconnect. It has nothing to do with being good enough or deserving it or doing the right thing. Once we break free from all of those concepts and ideas and cultural conditioning, we're free to make other choices. It is important to remind ourselves that the truth is the essence of our existence, the ground and basis for our existence right now. There is no other power giving us life, giving us consciousness in this moment other than the truth. The truth is not a concept or an idea. It is consciousness, infinite, timeless consciousness. We are the physical expression in this moment of that infinite, timeless consciousness. We are more than that. We are that infinite, timeless consciousness. There is no place for anything else. If something is infinite, it is everything. There is no outside the infinite. If I were to say to you, the truth is like a river. It is a flow. You might think that the river has banks, and it has rapids, and it has danger. But actually, the river is all there is. There is no danger. There are no banks. There is only the river. We know our egoic, dissociated mind is going to struggle with the concept of infinite. You cannot conceive of infinite, but you can experience it. You can know it to be true. And in fact, in your mind is some memory, some knowing of that truth. It is part of your very being. It is impossible that you do not know it. You have just chosen to turn away from it. If the river is infinite, then there is nothing to do. There is nothing to be done. The truth is all there is. And so, to reconnect with that truth, means we must surrender and let go. Go of our identity, let go of control, become one with the infinite. Our challenge in that is that we are used to accomplishing things by doing. Only we can do the right thing, do it the right way, we will get what we want. But now there is nothing to be done. There is no right way. There is only the choosing in every moment to become present to the reality that is already the only truth there is. And when we struggle with resistance, we simply acknowledge that there is that within us which is refusing to accept the truth in this moment. We don't judge that. We don't find fault. Don't make up stories about it. Just acknowledge and be curious that we should choose to deny the truth and to accept it and allow it would bring peace and joy and love. What is it about peace and joy and love that we are so afraid of, that we would choose to suffer? Because we must be clear that is the choice we are making. I think we are choosing the right thing, but in fact, our choice would only lead to suffering. And so, this is a reminder of the truth. There is nothing but the infinite, timeless consciousness, the one single unified source of all. There is no separation between us and that single unified consciousness. We have the power within our mind to deny and dissociate from that truth. But it doesn't change the truth, and it doesn't change the very essence of who we are. Only changes what we experience. The dissociated experience is one of illusions, of duality, of bad and wrong, of guilt and shame. If you could flip a switch right now and be done with the identity, the ego, and be only immersed in the truth, would you do it? We must be conscious of what we are clinging to. And we must not judge ourselves when we can't find the way. Instead, we can remind ourselves that despite our seeming experience of separation, the truth remains unaltered, remains absolute and universal. Nothing changes the truth. So, we're safe. We're safe to let go. Safe to surrender. We can have absolute faith and trust in the truth. As often as you need to, remind yourself. Bring the truth back to mind. Assure yourself. Comfort yourself. Soothe yourself. If we will proceed, determination to have only faith and trust in the truth, then everything will change. Thank you for listening to this episode of our podcast. If you'd like more information on these meditations and teachings, visit pathwaystosurrender.com. You might be interested in our other podcast, Pathways to Surrender. These are guided meditations designed to support you in letting go of whatever tensions or false ideas you might be holding about how things really are, and reaching a state of peace and surrender. That's Pathways to Surrender. Look for the next episode soon. We're uploading them every couple of days. See you next time.